Hello and welcome to Gardening with Ben's award-winning podcast, as voted by Grow Your Own magazine and by my followers and listeners. So if you're new to the podcast, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts, listen back to all our previous episodes, sit back, grab a brew and let's enjoy today's episode. Hello and welcome to your Monday edition of Gardening with Ben. It's a brand new week, it's time to get excited, it's time to get back in those gardens if you've got time off. I certainly have, and I'll certainly be getting back in my allotment for a great week. As I say, I've got possibly about 8 days off work now, and I'm making the most of it as much as possible to be down at the allotment. So today I have been to B&Q, where I always end up. I always like to pop in on the way to the allotment as I'm passing and just have a look for any reduced plants, because the more plants that I can plant in my allotment that grow back each year, the less I have to do eventually. So hopefully eventually we can get the borders looking fantastic and filled with plants and flowers that will keep on growing back year after year. So wherever I spot a bargain, I certainly will buy them, and I bought 2 Leyland eyes today. Should have been £5 each, only £1. So that's a bargain if you ask me, and they're in fantastic condition. One were a golden one and one was just a green colour, so hopefully they should keep the colour all the way through the year. They just need to bush out a bit, they're looking a bit dense at the moment, but with a bit of love and nurture I'm sure they'll grow really well. And I don't want them to grow tall, I'll keep them trimmed and looking smallish. They just go at the front of my plot just to add some colour and to brighten it up really, and I do like a bit of shrubbery at the front of my plot just to add that effect and make it look nice really, because you can always rely on the shrubs to look a decent colour and to brighten it up, to make it look better and to make it welcoming. And that is what I've been concentrating today on in my plot. I'm looking at adding as much colour as possible to my plot this year, because growing vegetables does not add much colour to your garden whatsoever. It's just green, lots of green, and you need that colour in the plot to brighten it up. And there's loads of places on my plot that are covered with black membrane to stop weeds from growing, just to keep it looking tidy and keep it maintenance free as much as possible. But if you grow plants like flowers in there and they fill out, they'll stop the weeds from growing because they won't be able to get the light that they need to grow. So I'm growing as many flowers as possible this year, and I'm in the process of making a brand new flower area on my plot and to add as much colour as possible as I can to the plot, which is going to be hard because it's going to require a lot of flower seeds to be planted. And the more flower seeds I can possibly start, the better it will look come summertime. And I just want it to be a blanket of colour all over my plot, and I'm trying to add the colour down the sides of all my beds and utilise the space as much as possible to add that colour to the plot, because the more colour that you've got and the more flowers, the more the bees will come to your plot and look after it. And that's what I want to do. As many bees as possible to get to my plot as possible is what I'm looking at doing. So that's the plan I'm looking at doing for my allotment. And today I've been concentrating on the entrance to my plot, which is where my my plum tree is, and that is a sacred area because my Victoria plum tree is the best plum tree in the world. And if you saw the photos and the video footage from it last year, you will know why. It's the Victoria plum tree if you don't know already, and it grows an abundance of plums. Literally all the branches were full last year and I couldn't get enough out to all of my friends and family. They all loved them, and that's the best thing about the allotment, sharing your produce with your family and your friends. Don't let it go to waste, give it away, and let people enjoy the fruits of your labour, and they'll certainly love you for it. So I'm doing this area up, and I'm looking at different flowers that I can grow on my plot in this area. These won't be perennial flowers, these will be just the once a year plants that I'll sow from scratch today, this year, and they'll die off at the end of the year. So it's going to be a case of looking to see what sort of flowers to grow on my plot and to fill the space up, really, because there is a lot of space what I'm creating these flower beds in. You can have up to 25% flowers on your allotment for the council for where I am, and I'm going to certainly make use of the area and try and make as many flowers on the plot as possible. And I'm making use of some old slates what my parents gave me. They had a new roof put on last year and they took all the slates off. They're all in good condition, but they had all new slates put on. So I'm using these slates as borders down the side of my plot to make the flower beds look nice and just to mark them out where they are, really. And it's going to be a lot of work. I'm guessing it'll probably take most of the week to do. And I'm finding lots of wood what I've got lying around, and I'm going to do some nice new borders, and all those will need painting when it dries out and it brightens up a bit, ready to make it look nice for this year, because I don't like all wood all different colours, like just plain wood colour. I like it all nicely painted, looking fresh and looking decent for the year to come, and it makes it look nicer and attractive, really. I do like to take pride in my plot looking nice. I know it's a mess at the moment, I admit that. Last year it was a no-go whatsoever, so I want to make my plot as the best it has ever been this year, and I'm certainly going to make it happen. I want to really show it off at its best, and I want you to see it at its best. So this year is going to be phenomenal, and it's going to blow your socks away, trust me. That is the plan anyway. Hopefully we can make it happen. Hopefully I am going to make it happen. And if I do, be sure to see thousands of pictures every single day on Instagram. I'm posting about 3 or 4 pictures a day at the moment on Instagram, but if this happens, you'll be getting a photo every hour of my plot. But yeah, you'll be sick and tired of me. But I'm so looking forward to this year. It has made the world to me getting back on the plot. And I shared a quote this morning saying, it's not the nurture that you put into the garden, it's the nurture the garden gives you. And that is certainly true to its word, because the garden gives me so much nurture and it makes me happy. I enjoy it. I enjoy being out in the open space. I enjoy being down there. The fresh air does me fantastic, and it is fantastic to see. So I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. You're going to be getting loads of episodes this week with me being off work. I'll be sharing an episode every single day, fingers crossed, even if it's just me rambling on. I know people like it, and the amount of downloads I've had over the last couple of days, it's been phenomenal. So thank you for those that do listen. Do click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you get notified when a new episode appears. And I just want to appreciate the followers that you do give me. It means the world to me. I know I don't see you, but it's always good to hear from you. And keep up the great work, and remember to keep smiling, keep gardening, and keep listening to Gardening with Ben. So thank you for listening to today's episode of Gardening with Ben. We hope that you've enjoyed this episode. Remember to do click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all our podcasts. Feel free to share them on your Instagram stories so that it spreads the word about my podcast and we get lots more listeners. Feel free to check out my social media sites, Facebook and Instagram as well, Gardening with Ben, and also my YouTube channel, to stay up to date with all my handy videos, how-to videos, and sharing my tips and advice. And feel free to check the link as well in the description for my Gardening with Ben t-shirts. Lots of funny gardening design t-shirts in there for you to purchase at great prices too. So thanks again, and as always, remember, keep smiling and keep gardening.